everybody, and welcome to the college football edition of Proline. I'm Dave Cokin. John Cranton from Jim Feist Sports is here. Chip Chirimbes, the master of the big play, and the Megabucks man himself, coming to us from sunny Florida. Not so sunny Florida, actually. That expression would not hold this week, Chip. How's Isaac doing?
Isaac's past us. The Hurricanes, not the Miami Hurricane. Isaac, the Hurricane, is on its way to New Orleans, dumping up on those unfortunate people. But we got away with it here. Just a little rain for the last 4 or 5 days. No big scare. All the little girls they had new candles, and they were all afraid for the power to go out. Nothing happened.
To you, too.
Well, good. Hopefully,
I was praying for power failures, yes.
Hopefully it won't hit the Gulf Coast too hard. This is the anniversary of Katrina, by the way, so, we don't want to refund that. There's already been postponed.
Not even close, though.
Louisiana Tech game with Texas A&M has been moved to October 13th. Another game is being delayed. Got pushed back a couple of days. That's the UT San Antonio South Alabama game. So, our hopes are with everybody down in the Gulf Coast. They don't get hit too hard by Isaac. All right, let's get into the meat of the show. We're going to look at the Pac-12 today, which is one of the most interesting conferences of the year because there is a logjam in this conference. So we'll try and break down some of the teams in that league. Before we do that, let's let you know what we've got going on. We'll start it off with Jim Feist, who had a nice run on his games of the year the last couple of weeks. One of them missed, but the other two got there. And a terrific special this weekend for $9.
Yeah, you get 3 games from Jim. He's celebrating the start of the college football season. 3 games from Jim for $9. It comes with a guaranteed 3-0, where you get a week of football free on Jim. All this for $9. 1-866-841-1655.
Chip, you had a great start to last week. You finally had a bad day on Friday, and then came roaring back from that. And yeah, I tell you what, it's been another good preseason for you overall.
Yeah, Dave, we always like this time of the year. Sometimes it doesn't work like we had anticipated, but this year for me it really worked out well. I had 4 really good winning weeks. I had a couple of days thrown in intermittently where I stubbed my toe. But, the beat goes on, and this week, the final week of the NFL preseason, I have my strongest play of the preseason. It's my money game, NFL game of the year, and it's only $29. And as a bonus, I'm going to throw in a whole month of NCAA football action with it. And Dave, like you, one of the leaders last year in college football throughout the entire season, you can't miss out on this deal. You get my NFL preseason game of the year and a whole month of college football action for $29. 866-841-1665. Give me a call. You'll be glad you did. Big games, big money on the line from the big game player. 866-841-1665.
I've had a good summer. I mean, I'm way up in baseball for the year. But last week was frustrating. Just lost a couple of games that were ridiculous. Just, I had the right side and didn't get there. It's going to happen. And the football actually wasn't that good last week. Just call it straight. I had a lousy week. We bounced back so far this week. It's been a really good start to this week. So hopefully that's going to continue. And I'm very excited about the college weekend. I think it looks like 7 plays that I'm going to be releasing in college football. I won't have much in the NFL this week. I don't like last week of the preseason. And, you don't have to play if you don't want to. So my efforts will be focused on the colleges this weekend. And I do think it's a terrific card. One of the games that I'm real big on is right here at Sam Boyd Stadium as UNLV opens their season with a matchup against Big Ten entry Minnesota. And that's part of a terrific season offer. $99, so it's a few bucks more than the normal special offers we have. But you're going to get covered for the whole season. Every action play I've got all season long in college football, and I have more action plays than anything else. You're going to get the whole thing for $99. And that big play that I've got in Minnesota UNLV, and it's a top-of-the-chart selection on the personal service, which means it's really big. That's included. Also, when I have my college game of the year, and I can't tell you when that's going to be because I don't know right now, but it's obviously not going to be for a while. But when I have that, you'll get that as well. So the whole package is $99. If you're going to be in action this year and you want to win money, this is a good investment. Make the call to 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629, and do it right away because that offer goes off the table once the Thursday college games are underway, and that Minnesota UNLV game is tonight. It's Thursday night. Okay, let's talk a few things. Let's talk a specific game, and then we'll do our Pac-12 football preview. Michigan and Alabama is a marquee game this weekend. Brady Hoke did a fantastic job in his first year with the Wolverines. I don't think that really surprised people who knew how good a coach he was from watching him at his prior stops in the MAC and out here in the Mountain West with San Diego State. So this guy can flat out coach. So can Nick Saban. Alabama, I got to tell you, man, that is a machine down there. This game is on a neutral field. Chip, it's at Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Any thoughts?
You know, it's a great game to open the year with, of course, and I think it's a huge number for Alabama to be favored over a Big Ten team like Michigan that played so well last year. And they're not at home. This is a neutral site. And the fact that it's 12.5 up to 13 now, Dave, I think, it scares me a bit that it looks kind of easy with Denard Robinson coming back for Michigan to take the Wolverines and the points here. And I think it's a really tough call. Great coaching, like you said, on both sides. What are you going to do with it? I'm still out on this right now. I'm waiting for my last information that we always seem to get the closer it gets to game time. But I think Friday afternoon, Friday evening, I'll have a more solid feel as to where to go with this contest. It's a great game.
Yeah, it is.
When I first looked at the number on this, like Chip, I thought, yeah, this is way too high for a very talented Michigan team off of a great campaign. They have 6 starters back on offense, 7 on defense. But then, boy, you take a look at what this SEC Alabama team has done the last couple of years when stepping up against good non-conference competition. As a big last year. What's that?
They destroyed the Big Ten, too, John, on top of everything else. Alabama just destroys the Big Ten when they play them.
Yeah, like last year against Penn State, a 10-point favorite. Doesn't matter. They win 27-11. 2 years ago, they were 14-point favorite over the Lions. They won 24-3. Still, and then look at the last 2 games. They crushed Auburn 42-14, a spread offense, and then that LSU team they beat 21-0. The thing though about Michigan, really liked the job that the defensive coordinator Greg Madison did last year. Remember, they were awful defensively before he got there. He stepped in. They were outstanding last year. They have a lot of talent back, led by that middle linebacker Kenny Demmons. Boy, the way to look at this game for me is you got 2 teams that like to run the footballs. The opening games, the offenses aren't going to be quite in sync, and you got 2 power top 20 type defenses. I would look at a kind of a 20-13 under the total type of game.
I like that take on it, John. I'm not going to play the side in this game. It's just too many points for me to give Michigan, but I don't want to go against Alabama. But I think it might take a little time for Alabama to rebuild the offense. Trent Richardson is a gaping hole out of the offense, and they want to run first and pass second, if you will. McCarron's a kind of a solid guy. He's not. I don't think he's played at the next level. He's a good game manager, but I don't think he's the type of guy who's going to win games for you. The Michigan side, Denard Robinson. I mean, Shoelace is tremendously exciting, and he can really run the football, but nobody really runs in Alabama, and I'm not really sold on his ability to throw the football. So I think what you've got is a fairly fast-moving game where the coaches are going to try and establish things on the ground. I do think you'll see some 3-and-outs in this, and the total's high enough to me to indicate that there's a good chance this game stays under. I think we'll see it about 45.5. I will side that way as well, John. I like the game under the total. All right, let's do a Pac-10 preview. And we're going to start it off. Why not start it off with a team that's being tabbed as one who could win the whole thing this year? USC is flat out loaded. They're on a mission. Chip, it's really tough to see this team not living up to expectations.
They've been waiting for this moment, haven't they, Dave? I mean, they've been on probation. They've had coaching changes. They've had to turn back Heisman trophies. They've had all kinds of different issues. And Barkley stayed. He stayed for this. And I think the media is more stepping out and rewarding USC because of this team staying together and him coming back. You still have Alabama and LSU down there, and one of those two are going to emerge. Southern Cal, are they going to be able to deal with Oregon's speed. That's going to be the biggest question when it comes to the end. Are they going to be able to beat Oregon? And all said and done, I'm a big USC guy. I love their defense and overall talent at running back. They have lost some people, but to some preseason injuries, from what I understand. But that happens to every club. I think USC is going to have a chance to play either LSU or Alabama or somebody from the East for the big game.
There's lots of excitement in the state of Washington. Washington State has Mike Leach on board. You know they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be throwing it all over the place and probably doing it fairly well. That's going to be an improved team this year. Washington is a team that intrigues me. Steve Sarkisian has done what we thought he would do with the offense. He's made it a really good offense. Keith Price is a terrific quarterback, just one of several in the Pac-12. This league always seems to have good quarterbacks. Keith Price has a chance to be playing at the next level. He's a junior, and whether he's there past this year, we'll have to wait and see. He had 33 touchdowns, 11 picks last year. They've got a tight end in this Safarian Jenkins kid, who I think is an NFL player. They were explosive, to put it mildly, last year in offense, and I don't think that's going to change a whole lot. They lose Chris Polk, who's a fabulous running back, but I think they can compensate for that. The problem is they can't stop anybody. 106th in the nation. They allowed 36 points a game last year. They scored 56 points in their bowl game. This is amazing. They scored 56 points in their bowl game and lost by double digits. How do you do that? 67 to 56. I know they got a new defensive coordinator. There's a real shocker for you. Justin Wilcox is in, and they got to do a lot more 3-4 alignments this year. I just don't know that the personnel is in place for them to be that much better defensively. I think it's going to be a big issue for them again, and that's why I've got this team in the middle of the Pac-12. I don't think they'll improve to any extent. If there's a slight gain on defense, there may be a slight diminishment on offense with the running game being uncertain. So I think Washington, now this isn't an insult to them, because the middle of the Pac-12 is pretty good, but I think that's where they are, in the middle of the Pac-12. Oregon, John, they're a team with national title aspirations themselves. Look, they've just established themselves as a legitimate top 10 program. Looks like they're going to be there every year unless they get in some major trouble. That's another story entirely. Chip Kelly's got a lot of good stuff to work with again this year.
Yeah, they do lose their starting quarterback, but boy, when you're in these marquee games the last couple of years, including the national title game 2 years ago, you have that edge when you go out on the recruiting trail, as we are a top 10 power. And Chip Kelly is reaping the benefits of all that. Even though they lose their starting quarterback, they might not slow down, because you got 5 starters back on offense, 3 on that offensive line, 7 on defense. They're no ordinary offense the way Chip Kelly spreads the field. They run the no-huddle attack. They really burn up defenses, averaged over 220 yards passing and rushing per game last year. So you got back a speedy sophomore in D'Anthony Thomas and senior running back Kenjon Barner, who came close to 1,000 yards. The thing, though, is they lost Aaron Thomas. Now, what happened is with him is he jumped to the NFL draft and then didn't get drafted, which was very unfortunate for him. The guy to watch is the 6'4" freshman quarterback, Marcus Mariota. He's a 4-star recruit out of Hawaii. Had some phenomenal high school numbers, as you can imagine. They like him. They're comfortable with him, and he's going to get thrown in there. So they really look potent on both sides of the ball. If you like to play totals, keep in mind that Oregon carries a 23-9 run over the total into the new season with that attacking offense and not dominant defense, but good defense.
Jeff Tedford has done a good job at Cal. But, Chip, the program seems to have leveled off. I mean, they've made 8 bowls their last 9 years, but they've kind of just, found a plateau, if you will. And I don't know that they're going to improve. Do you see anything in this team that stands out this year?
Well, I haven't seen anything since Aaron Rodgers. Of course, they had a Best as a running back, which got injured and really hurt them because they were really motoring along at the time, shall I say. But it seems like the same old Cal. They come out and they'll be impressive at times and places, and then comes down the stretch when they're in big-time competition. They just don't measure up. So I don't see them being an upper tier. They may go to another bowl game, but nothing that we're going to be talking about close to New Year's Day anyway.
A couple of bonuses on the Cal squad. They got Fort, was a transfer from Penn State. Looks like he'll step right in at linebacker. And Tedford spent some good time in the offseason with Bill Belichick. A lot of film study, and we'll see what he gleaned from that. Speculation is they're going to try and establish the tight end more than they have in recent years at Cal. Utah, pretty good debut in the Pac-12. They got upset at the end of the year, a shocking loss to Colorado, which cost them a chance to play in the Pac-12 title game. Kyle Whittingham is one of my favorite coaches. I think he's one of the best in the business. I think he's got a good football team this year. He's got most of the core of last year's team back, 8 starters on offense, 6 on defense. They beat Georgia Tech in their bowl game. Not surprising. I had Utah in that game, and I thought they'd win. In fact, I thought they won it easier. They didn't win it as easy as I thought they would. Jordan Wynn, if the key with Jordan Wynn, he's a good quarterback. He has injury issues. I mean, he's constantly getting hurt. He's got to be tougher this year and just more luckier. I'm not sure which is the right terminology there. They have to have him on the field to be as good as they can be. Whittingham has gone on record basically saying that he thinks his defensive front is the best in the conference. They've got a legitimate star in Lotulelei on the defensive line, and a couple of brothers who are very good. They're going to put more Wildcat in this year from what I gather. I think Utah is going to be better than they were a year ago. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to skyrocket to the top of the league, because USC and Oregon are better than they are. But I think there's a good chance Utah will be the 3rd best team in this league, and they could be a value team. So watch the numbers on them. You might be able to get an edge with this Utah squad, at least early on. Stanford, no more Andrew Luck. But, John, I don't think a lot of people are shedding tears for what is still a very good football program.
Yeah, they're not going to have a major drop-off after going 11-2 straight up. And against the number last season, you get 6 starters back on offense, 7 on defense. The guy who replaces Luck is junior quarterback Brent Nottingham. And the thing is, he's not going to have to carry this offense. The offensive line is very good, and the running backs look like one of the best backfield in the nation. You got senior running back Stephon Taylor, 1,300 yards last year, and Tyler Gaffney. They've got a wide receiver in Ty Montgomery who averaged over 14 yards per catch. He had 7 catches in the Fiesta Bowl. And don't forget this defense. This was 4th nationally in run defense. They've got a stock defense, allowed just 21.9 points per game. They got 5th-year linebacker Chase Thomas back. He was actually considering going to the NFL draft and would have been taken high, but he's coming back. So this is a team that's got loaded on both sides of the ball. It's all going to depend on how the young quarterback does. But for those folks at USC saying we're going to be number 1 all season long, be careful. This Oregon and Stanford teams out of the Pac-12, very powerful.
The Pac-12, when USC's going well, the Pac-12 goes well. That's not said as a USC fan. I'm not a fan of USC. I don't care about them one way or the other. It's just a fact. They're the marquee team in the conference. And Lane Kiffin should get sent a thank you note from all the other programs, because he has done a tremendous job in rebuilding this program in a hurry, despite some real hindrances from the previous administration. And the conference is getting stronger again. You've got 2, I think, legitimate top 5 teams in this league, in USC and Oregon. It's not SEC level yet, but it's heading in that direction. And that's a good thing for the Pac-12 overall. These other programs are all going to benefit from this. Should be a good league this year. I have USC winning it. I have Oregon as the 2nd best team. I think USC will be, on my preseason projections, I have them playing in the national title game, in the BCS title game at the end of the year. Guys, any dispute with USC winning the league? Or is Oregon or Stanford the pick?
I say USC does not. I think they're a little bit overrated because the defense. The offense is loaded, but this defense was not very good last year, and they bring a lot of the same people back. So I have a lot of concerns of whether this is a top 10 team because of the defense. So I'll say Oregon or Stanford. I'll say Oregon sweeps in there.
You want to break the tie, Chip?
No, Dave, I already spoke about USC. I think they're going to the title game.
There you go. John, you're outvoted. All right.
Take a seat.
Once again, college football is underway. You should be seeing this on a Thursday if you're seeing it right off the bat, and that means the season starts tonight. I have a big game, Minnesota UNLV, the top of my ticket today. Sign up for my college season package, $99, all my action plays for the entire season. You'll get that big play tonight as a bonus. You'll also get my college football game of the year when that comes up, included as part of the package, no additional cost. And that game on its own is going to sell for $100. So it's a no-brainer. Take advantage of it at 1-866-896-1629, 1-866-896-1629. Chip, megabucks, big plays, the real deal is here. Some real good reasons for people to call.
Absolutely, Dave. And tonight in NFL action, I have an NFL preseason money game of the year, and I've had a great preseason so far. This is just going to cap it off. It's the only game I really even care about this Thursday night, and of course, that's because college football is kicking off, and I'm going to include a month of college football action for everyone out there for only $29. Get the NFL preseason money game of the year and an entire month of college football action at 866-841-1665. It's $29, 30 days of college football action. My NFL preseason game of the year included right now at 866-841-1665. Give me a call. You'll be glad you did.
All right, John. Jim Feist has a little bit of everything this weekend. It's a football trifecta, and at a price that's certainly not going to hurt anybody.
Yep, it's a special this week. $9 gets you 3 games from Jim as a celebration of the start of the college football season. 3 games for $9 with a 3-0 guarantee. You will win to get a week of football free on Jim. 1-866-841-1655.
That's going to do it for the debut edition of the college regular season version of Proline. We will be back doing it again next week. We want you to have a great first weekend of the college season and a great last weekend of the NFL preseason. Get some winners in baseball as well. Everybody wins this weekend, we hope. It's always more fun that way. The books can afford a bad weekend, believe me. That's going to do it for John, for Chip, and for Jim Feist. I'm Dave Cokin. Thanks for watching. See you next week.